were 3 replay reviews, 2 red cards issued to Northwestern in the last 3 minutes, Glenn. Rutgers felt very hard done by the result, and it'll be interesting to see if they carry that over to tonight. And Rutgers in the white kits, all blue tonight for FDU. And truly, if you were watching that match the other day on Big Ten Plus, one of the wildest endings to a college soccer match I have seen in my life. First foul goes the way of Ayaz and FDU.
Yeah, that was a lot of activity in just a couple of minute period, and it's unfortunate. And you know, their talisman Shelb, by hitting the crossbar on the penalty, that just kind of set themselves up for maybe what was ahead of them, which included a disallowed goal. I have not seen an angle on that, so I'm not going to make any particular judgment on it. But I can tell you the Rutgers coaching team felt a certain way about that being called offside.
Yeah, one of those matches where neither coaching staff left all that happy. Rutgers is 1-1, though, beat Penn State thanks to Shelb and that outstanding free kick goal you mentioned a moment ago. And a team that's hoping to surprise some folks in the Big Ten this year. Rutgers was projected preseason to finish near the bottom of the table, but 4-2-1 on the year. They have played anything but a team that's going to finish at the bottom of the Big Ten. And all of these newcomers that Jim McElderry has brought into the roster have really reinvigorated the team.
And Shelb, we see him in the midfield now, so he'll be the attacker, the number 10, who will also look to set up his teammates. You can see he is good with his back to the goal. The first ball played into him. Just a first-time gentle pass out to the flank, although Rutgers loses possession here and then regains.
With Amir Lukovic, the Montclair State Division III transfer, nudged off the ball now. And Victor Labite on it for a moment for FDU. And here comes Connor O'Reilly, one of the 19 newcomers that the FDU Knights brought in. More than half the roster turned over in the offseason for Jamie Highcock's bunch, and he's been able to put it together fairly quickly, it seems like. He's gotten guys from all over the world, from all sorts of different ranks. Lower NCAA ranks, from the NAIA, freshmen, JUCO, you name it. Every stone overturned.
He made a point to us, though, against Columbia, starting 10 American players. So he felt proud of that. You know, in our modern Division I college, on the men's side in particular, a lot of internationals dotting the rosters of teams across the country, including many of the top teams in the country.
That's right. A little different tonight for FDU. Players from all over. Really is the UN on their roster. They're starting 11. That's FDU holding it on their back line. And slid ahead now for Ryan Cope. And give and go to the Akron transfer. And here's Labite. And a switch for one of the freshmen in the lineup, Corey Hudgens, coming out of the Jacksonville area.
So are we going to guess that Hugh is wearing 24 and not 35?
I'm going to go Harrison Hugh is wearing 35.
So forgive me. We're looking at the schematics that we were handed before the game. There's a number 24 playing striker.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. And that number is not on the roster. But I do see a 24/35, so upon further investigation.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Depending on which kit.
That is Harrison Hugh.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there he is. And I wanted to say earlier, they're playing twin strikers, and I want to watch that closely. I favor that at times. We'll see how FDU does it.
Rutgers trying to pounce. Here's Thomas Angelone, fed from Shelb. And that was last touch by the Knights. That was the right back, Hudgens. Corner kick coming for the Scarlet Knights.
Well, one of your responsibilities as a winger, Angelone succeeding, not in getting past the defender and in on goal, but earning a quarter kick for the Scarlet Knights.
That first test for FDU goalkeeper, a transfer from Seton Hall, Mateus Franca, another Jersey native. Shelb on the corner. Great biting ball. It's right in the mixer, and it's knocked away by Hudgens. Franca got a piece of it, very nearly straight in the back of the net for Shelb.
Well, I don't think you have to guess twice as to where this second delivery is going to go. You might as well just spin it right in on the keeper again. Check this out, and the keeper definitely struggled with it. A lot of bodies in the area, so Rutgers has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 close to the keeper here, as Shelb will try it again.
Shelb scored 6 times already, looking for his 7th. It's knocked down by a Rutgers player and out, and Koza knocks it off a defender. Third chance coming up.
Well, the keeper was 6 yards off his line on that one. Franca, watch how far he comes out for this and really doesn't punch it cleanly. So that was fortunate for him that he had one of his teammates there get a deflection for this third straight corner.
Brilliant service provided from the German. And another outstanding one that trickles towards the goal line. Header is in! Third time's the charm for Rutgers. Camron Boumsong booms it home. The Scarlet Knights grab an early edge.
Well, we saw it in each one of the 3 corners that the keeper struggled with it, as he did here. So Franca in this crowd, and give Rutgers credit whether this was a scouting manipulation, but they just put a lot of bodies close to the goalkeeper. They were man-marked, so that means there were 8, 9, 10 players all surrounding the keeper, and Franca just had difficulty barreling through and getting to the ball on all 3 occasions, and on the third, it's Rutgers up 1-0.
Second goal of the season and of the career for St. John's transfer Camron Boumsong, who calls Paris home. One of the many additions to the lineup who's earned his biggest role of his career and has flourished in it. He's making his first start of his Rutgers career tonight. And within 10 minutes, Rutgers grabs the lead. And you have to give credit to Yoshi Shelb. I mean, 3 corner kicks, Glenn, every single one of them threatening.
Absolutely. His second one was a little further away from the goal, and I think he thought on the third, now I got to whip it back in.
And even on that last one, 2 chances. It was an FDU player, we couldn't catch who, cleared it off the goal line just for Boumsong to knock back in. Now, Rutgers, a team that scores on average 2 goals a game, and they pocket one there, and FDU just missed the equalizer.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Shelb. This is outside the 6, headed down. And not enough thunder there from Amir Lukovic. So an easy claim for Franca.
Free header, though, and it was an outswinger. It floated a bit as well. So not necessarily that difficult to provide defensive pressure, but Rutgers did well to clear the space for Amir. And Lukovic, well, you try to head it down. That's what you're taught, head the ball down. But from that distance and into the ground, it was just an easy pickup. From that distance, you probably have to pick out a corner.
You got to smash it.
Thunderous header.
That's right. Already 4 shots and 4 corners for Rutgers in the first 15 or so minutes now. Rutgers team that is happy to be home, starting a 3-game homestand tonight after a long road stretch, I should say, to open the season. Began with a win against Providence on BTN on this turf, and then 4 straight on the road, back on the road for a second Big Ten game, and now getting to dig in a little bit in their home digs.
Rutgers content to really set their line of confrontation up at the halfway line or even inside their own end. So FDU given the freedom to probe at the back, and Rutgers probably waiting for that moment where they go and press.
Oh, the errant pass helps. Koza takes it away, and another self-pass. This time it's Angelone off to the races with Lukovic ahead. Angelone draws 2 defenders and spins it over Lynch.
Option there, early delivery down the flank for Angelone. He had Lukovic running hard into the channel as a possibility, but Lukovic is also taking a defender there, so you cut back into the middle of the field. Not necessarily a bad choice, but that's where most of the defensive numbers were. It's a numbers game, Dom.
That's right. Overloads and imbalances is what I've been taught.
Very nice. Who taught you?
The guy sitting to my my right.
Oh, okay.
Overwhelming majority of it, yeah.
Okay. Well, you had coaches along the way, too, I would imagine.
I never played soccer organized.
All right. I just learned something about you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold that against you or anything. But did you play?
No, in the old hometown, they played baseball and soccer in the same spring season. They moved it from the fall. Reportedly because the parents didn't like sitting out in the cold fall evenings late in the season. And America's pastime won.
Yes, the parents control all.
That's right.
Parental intervention.
That's right. A free kick set up here for Takatuna Shide. FDU would love an equalizer. They had that great look from Hugh just a minute after Boumsong's goal gave Rutgers a lead. But really nothing going for the Knights since. And not much going to happen here. It is poached in towards the box. Hugh was near it, but so was half of the Rutgers team.
Now, I doubt that was the set play. Sometimes you'll play it off the nearest teammate for a flick on, but in that case, it was just under hit.
And again, Rutgers down the field quickly. Shelb for Lukovic, and Numuski does really well, keeping Lukovic off the ball. Now Ayaz along the deck for Hugh. He's onside. Here comes Harrison Hugh, and it's in! The equalizer. Hugh with a head of steam. He smashes home his second chance. FDU level.
Well, the thing of note here, and there will be a review, video review for potential offside. But the thing to consider here is that Kieran Dalton was beaten at the near post.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Rabasa Guillamon circles it back. Around for Hodgins on this right side. He and Koza have been doing battle a good bit, and it is an FDU throw. Now, FDU was not coming to Piscataway to simply log 90 minutes and go home, whatever the results. Jamie Highcock made it clear we were coming to play. It's the third and final match that his squad has on the non-conference schedule against a power conference team, already played at St. John's and Seton Hall. Ayaz, no chance at settling, and Aviles clears. Both of those results were shutout losses, 1-0 at the Johnnies and 3-0 at Seton Hall. But in both matches, as he noted to us, FDU won the time of possession, had the better of the possession.
Jim McKeldery prior to the game said FDU played well in both those contests. And it was unfortunate that they didn't get a result in at least one of them.
Oh, it's knocked away by Numuski. Kitch taken down for a quick sec, but I don't think he's had a real chance at the ball.
No, nothing there.
But back to the Big East matches, Glenn, they really did play well, FDU. They thought they could have won the St. John's match.
Well, it's a team that won the conference a season ago. We recognize a lot of changes, which is pretty regular and normal now in present day Division I college men's and women's soccer. Did I cover everything there?
I think so. Basically every sport in college nowadays.
I guess
everything.
Yeah, I guess I just focus on this.
And taken to an extra level for FDU because they did not opt into the revenue sharing portion of the settlements this past summer, as we get a flash of lightning off in the distance to our left. It is humid. There's a little lightning in the area, something to keep in mind, though we have not heard reports of anything at all close. But anyway, because FDU didn't opt into the ability to directly share revenue with its athletes, they can have as many number of players on the team basically as they want. All the schools that opt in, like Rutgers, are limited to a certain number in each sport. There are 37 guys on the FDU men's soccer team.
Wow, I did not recognize that.
37, yes.
You did share the roster with me, and I guess, yeah, and 28 is the limit if you opted in. So you can have less, but no more than 28 on the Division I roster.
So I say that because, deep team, turned over a lot of spots to turn over, though, and plenty of home for them. Although, ironically, it's the team with the shorter bench that has 5 guys waiting at the scorer's table right now, after 3 substitutes have already entered. First 2 changes are waiting to come in, too, for FDU.
Well, some of this, I'm sure, was planned ahead of time by Jim McElderry. Again, with the Ohio State game on the horizon, is to share the minutes tonight. And, for instance, Shelb is coming off, which under normal circumstances might not be the case.
That's right. For Rutgers, it is 4 usual starters, plus its captain, Cole Crothers, entering. So that's Devin Stopek in the back line, Timo Jansen in the midfields, Jack Andrews on defense, and one guy who's typically a reserve, Joshua Jerome, just checked in too. And the first 2 changes for FDU. I'll hold that thought, it'll be a corner. Changes real quick. Nathaniel Anevsky and Alex Feranak are in. Both of those guys will play up top. And now, just as soon as Shelb comes off, it's the latest corner for the Scarlet Knights. Their 6th. First one not taken by Big Ten leader in shots. And Timo Jansen takes it quick for Andrews, who finds the opening but booms it high.
Yeah, the next to last touch you saw it was completely square. So when that occurs, he's trying to get himself around the ball, get his hips around the ball, and just was unable, Andrews, to manipulate that properly. Ball was actually moving away from square when he tried to strike it as well.
Hudgens, one touch by Labitte. And around for Feranak, who just checked in. Working on Andrews. And here comes a corner.
This all started when Hugh came off the back line, checked into a pocket, and received. And that's where, does the center back go with him? Is there a midfielder in there to cover? And a midfielder eventually came over, Carruthers. But FDU had it in the end with possession and eventually are able to get the corner here. All from just receiving the ball cleanly in that pocket.
And FDU looking for a lead. Nishide Comes all the way through the box. A couple of FDU players went down in an attempt at the header. Ayaz and Faranack had a look at it. And now Rutgers on the possession as Jerome starts for Jansen, the Albany transfer. Aviles angling for Kitch.
Well done.
And another corner. 7 of them, Glenn, for Rutgers in the first 35 minutes.
And this was an excellent one-on-one move by Jansen. So he got the ball and was able to receive on a turn and then engage the defender. So the defender had to step to him, and that drew the pressure and allowed the space out wide. And again, a corner.
And this is a dangerous one, headed back out by Namusky.
Well, that's what I was asking. The left-footed corner from the opposite side. Crothers has been hitting outswingers. Still a good amount of danger, but this one taken by Jansen. Now, if he could whip it in, you want it in on the keeper. So let's see what happens here to the keeper's right.
And we'll see what Cole Crothers can do.
There's no reason to deviate from what Rutgers has had success with here.
There he is, a little flat. So it's repelled out for Jansen. The strike back in. Collins settles. Kitch settles. Stopped, but put home by Collins. Pinball in the box, and Nick Collins gets the last touch. Rutgers leads again.
Well, this one's going to be reviewed. I think Collins may have been in an offside position when the shot was taken. Let's see. Oh, it's too close to call. The referee's going to take a look at it, but the flag stayed down, and on first blush, when I watched it live, I thought Collins was off. But now seeing the replay, he's almost level, and it would not. You cannot overrule from what we've seen. We've seen 2 different angles, and I think Collins is going to be safe, and Rutgers is going to have the 2-1 lead.
Well, assuming it stands, it will be Nick Collins' first goal of the season and the second of his career. Tyler McElhinney is at the monitor once again to review this. Jim McKeldry was surprised this even got looked at, and you could see from the replay the last defender, Damian Namusky, is keeping Collins on by at least a step. You can use the top of the 6-yard box as your barometer, even from an angle that's not quite square. Joe Mortarulo, who's one of McKeldry's top assistants, can't believe it either. And the goal will stand, yes. So the Collins score counts in the 36th minute, and Rutgers leads again.
What's the matter? You ate all their pizza? What was the issue?
No, they've come to understand and accept that. That's a workplace hazard. Me coming in and marauding the pizza stash. Faranack, FDU pushing for an equalizer before half. And it's popped up for Dalton. Devin Stopak defended it really well, put himself in the correct position. And that was one of the recent changes. Eric DeLabel, who took the strike. DeLabel and Jaime Barbero are both on. A couple of veteran players, both seniors. And an FDU throw.
Maryland is at Penn State. That kicks off at 8 o'clock Eastern, so just a few minutes. So during our second half, we'll keep track of that a little bit too.
Played back for Barbero. And Jude Ussaman swoops in, at least for a second. Maryland off to a great run as well. They are the 3rd team in the Big Ten in terms of RPI. They're 21st right now. And again, it's still very early. RPI will swing 20, 30 spots on the results. Usman onside. No, take that back. Flag's up. And I think with the way the offside flag has not favored Rutgers over the last match and a half, let's call it, the Rutgers coaching staff probably ready to ban all AR flags at this point.
Well, what a great first-time ball out of the midfield by the pride of Freehold, Joshua Jerome. Really a great firm pass bent right into the path of his teammate out on the wing, Osman. And those are the offsides that coaches get a little perturbed with.
The lobble, Montgomery stops it.
Because you could see across the entire line, but you end up ball watching, and that's how you get caught sometimes.
Barbero slicing in, and Dalton makes a fingertip save. Man, Jaime Barbero, the Spaniard, stepped right into that shot.
Yeah, at a live look, that was probably under the crossbar if Dalton had been able to parry it over, and FDU gets the corner out of it. But those shots are so important when you have the ability to do it. And now we're getting a better look at it. Absolutely, top corner, and good save by Dalton.
Heat-seeking missile. This is short of the post. Andrews first on the scene. Hudgens back in, but nobody onside there for FDU able to play it.
And that Rutgers goal, the go-ahead goal by Collins, remember that was a second phase of a corner. So we've talked about the corner kicks tonight and Rutgers' effectiveness. Two of their goals, you could say, off of corners.
That's a great point.
And then FDU have taken advantage of all their shots on goal. They've got one. Well, actually two now. Sorry, with the Dalton save, that made it two.
That's right. Nevsky slides it for Farinac. Working on Andrews, who gets help. And repelled back to Hudgens as we drip under 2.5 minutes remaining in an active first half. FDU in pursuit of the win that will go at the top of their resume. And Rutgers trying to protect home turf in the non-conference with Big Ten action looming this weekend. Hudgens, low ball, that's missed. Another FDU opportunity. Nathaniel Anevsky, the Jersey native from Wayne, knew he had a look there.
NJIT transfer, and there you get a look at what was something that was, well, 5 or 6 yards to the right of the post. A very high level of difficulty on that shot. You have to time that. You have to get the hips around. You have to have the leg parallel to the ground. I mean, and then the contact on the instep of the foot. All kinds of things need to happen just right, and just missed the target.
So a goal for FDU. What could have been an offside, no angle for it, but 2 shots taken inside the 18 where FDU had beaten Kieran Dalton but could not fit it inside the post to his left. .75 seconds. Kitch, big frame, is able to hold it up. And Jerome spins around. Finally, he runs out of an angle. Good work rate, though, on that young man. Not a huge rush here from FDU. I think they want to hold to have the last look. Another crunching tackle. Labite is fouled. He and Kitch came in at what looked like the same time, but Labite is still down on the turf. Prime goal scorer NK Tima. The goalkeeper, that is, who broke camp as their starter, is out for the year as well. That's Noah Rusher, broke his wrist. So this team is banged up. And still they're within a goal. They had tied it at one point in this first half, FDU had. But Rutgers bookends that goal from Harrison Hugh with strikes off corners. Countdown on in Piscataway. And we're heading to halftime with Rutgers in the driver's seat, 2-1. Fun first half, fun 45 minutes, and it sets the table for intrigue in half number 2 because both these teams are in it.
In soccer, it's a couple of weeks in preseason, and you're really in the early portion of the year, you're really still working on things, combinations, relationships, all those different aspects.
Well, FDU's second half starting 11 has found the field. No time for them to warm up. Any jogs or time to play to knock the ball around, so we get right into it. And Rutgers will have a goal kick. Especially notable too, Glenn, you're talking about no time to get ready. Rutgers in particular was sort of 50-50 between guys who came in after the last season concluded and guys who came in after the spring sort of opposite season concluded. So they were bringing players in throughout the year, sort of on a rolling basis to put this squad together.
Well, there's more of that now. That is transfers, spring, and reclassification in high school where players are coming in, graduating early from high school and entering in the spring. It's happening on the men's and women's side. To get that opportunity. You know, it's a good point, Dom.
That's right. Now, FDU coach Jamie Highcock as well mentioned that he brought in a few players only after the NCAA solidified that ruling back in the spring that NAIA and junior college players would get an extra year of eligibility. So 3 of these guys are only on the roster right now, including starting midfielder Connor O'Reilly, only here because they were granted a 5th year of eligibility to pursue in the NCAAs. That was a nifty move by FDU's top goal scorer, Luke Ayas. Able to slip a second half starter, Joshua Jerome. Both teams keeping out a bunch of guys who ended the first half. This has been a tepid start to the second half compared to what we saw in the opening 45. Damian Numuski has had enough of the playing it along the back line. Rutgers intercepts.
Stopek read that wonderfully. When long ball service is on, as it was, and he just saw the eyes and the lifting of the leg by Numuski, and he just backpedaled and got into the spot to win the initial ball, and then Rutgers gets it back to the other end.
And playing advantage, Thomas Angelone is back on the fields after finishing the first half on the bench. Jack Andrews stays on, slicing in and lost control, trying to ID Yoshi Shelb. Shelb, the top goal scorer on the team, number 2 in the Big Ten, 6 goals, 13 points. One of those players who has been unfazed by a transfer up, if you will, from the conference that FDU is in, the Northeast Conference. He played for St. Francis, and now playing in the big time, the Big Ten. And Rutgers forced all the way to the back. And there's the key goal scorer, Collins. A draft pick of Minnesota United last offseason, opting to come back to Rutgers for his junior year. Now, boy, Rutgers is happy to have him. He's played the full 90 in all but one match, and he seems on a collision course for another full 90 tonight.
Minnesota United having a very good year under their second-year coach, Eric Ramsey. At or near the top of the Western Conference throughout the MLS season.
Same club that had Rutgers keeper Kieran Dalton come out and train for a while. They had watched so much of Nick Collins throughout last year. that they saw plenty of Kieran Dalton in the same time. He had some good performances in the matches they watched and brought the keeper out to train too.
Saw
throw.
Joey Zielinski, a former Rutgers back with St. Louis City in preseason. Got some time with them. He has since been loaned to the USL Championship. Don't quiz me on which team. I can't remember. We'll look it up though.
Oh, the Indy 11.
Indy 11. Thank you.
You're welcome. Rutgers knocking it around. Here's a VLS with an incisive run, and that was a dangerous ball lifted over the face of goal. And Andrews deflects it out for an FDU throw. So 5 minutes in, much more of a feeling out process in this second half than what we experienced at the onset of the match. Funny, I would have thought FDU would come flying out, looking for that immediate game-tying goal. Not quite yet.
Well, we'll see how the personnel are shuffled here in the second half for both sides. That's going to play a role in it as well, I would think.
And one of those miscommunications there. Two regulars, though, involved. Collins and Andrews on the left side. And for those just tuning in, very different looks for these teams tonight than what you might expect. Rutgers had at least half of its usual starting 11 come off the bench, just trying to get guys rested in this non-conference game. And FDU, too, very injured and trying to conserve some of its players ahead of their conference opener this weekend. They've got possession, and Alex Faranak slicing in, cuts it back, and Delabel ties the match. Prime shot. Prime conversion for the Paramus native, Eric Delabel. FDU level once again.
Well, when you get to the ball, you're allowed or work your way towards the byline. It becomes a more difficult defending moment. And good numbers in the box, good box organization by FDU, and the finish by Delabel is exquisite to get it underneath Dalton. And we talked about personnel. He did not start the game. Barbaro was not a starter of the game. He was in the mix of that as well. And, well, there you go. We're all tied up. You were wondering about how FDU might come out, and maybe you expected a little bit more from them. Well, you got it, Dom.
Yeah, maybe just a couple minutes after. Well, you see for Eric Delabel, that's his first goal of this season, 8th of his career, though. He's been a key contributor to FDU for 5 years now. And he's had quite a nice run. He had the assists on the late game winning goal FDU snagged against Columbia Thursday in a 1-0 win. That goal coming in the 83rd minute. And now he's got a game tying goal in the next match. And you can give the assist as well, by the way, to Alex Faranak. Good delivery on that ball along the deck. And found Delabel in a pocket that the Rutgers defense had not accounted for. It really shows the resilience of this team out of the Northeast Conference.
And those are two reserves combining on the goal as well.
Right.
And we had referred to their depth earlier and how it had been tarnished by a lot of injuries. So now Rutgers, they responded well, did the Scarlet Knights, the home side, in the opening half when FDU was able to equalize. We'll see how it goes here.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
2023. Missed all of last season with injury, transfers to Rutgers and having a good run. Now his first Rutgers start. He wins this free kick for Yoshi Shelb. Playing for a teammate, overshoots him, but a corner conceded, and Shelb will get another shot.
Yeah, Ayaz on the defending side on this occasion off the set piece. He was just facing his own goal and made the right decision. Instead of trying to do something awkward and get it back up the field, you can see he just guided it out for the corner. Safe play, although this has been a difficult circumstance for Franca and FDU. Let's see how this one goes.
10th corner, most taken by Rutgers number 10. And Franca better that time, out for it with a two-hand punch. Angelone wins it for Rutgers. Lukovic. Now Jerome. Back from Lukovic. In. Is Angelone on? We play on. No. Flag comes up.
You see Angelone there just drifting a little bit ahead of the defenders, and only one defender left, and that was the goalkeeper, and that means you're offside at the point of contact. But I like the way he was set up in between them. If he could have just gotten himself level, receive, turn, and shoot.
Rutgers was high on Thomas Angelone. Saw him a decent bit last year off the bench as a freshman. Second straight start for him tonight as Lukovic flags it down. Double team, and he's so nifty. Slices it in. Oh, he had Angelone there. At Rose just over Hudgens' head, it'll go for a goal kick.
I think Angelone for a moment there was deceived. Maybe it was anticipating a glancing header because he stopped his run. Let's see what happens here, but Lukovic, I think he was just in an offside position, so he was taking great care in making sure he stayed onside.
We've documented how the offside flag has not been too kind to Rutgers over the last couple of matches. At the end of Friday's loss to Northwestern, one of Rutgers' 5 opportunities came on a goal called off for offside. And there's Ayaz. He's a little frustrated and a little injured. Not much room to operate tonight for FDU's top scorer, Luke Ayaz. 3 goals on this season. He's registered an assist, but no shots tonight.
Faranek, who had the assist on the goal this half to tie it up for FDU, was running with him there, but Rutgers does what you are supposed to do in those counter situations: recover, get numbers behind the ball, and that was well defended by the home side.
And Rutgers is readying 3 substitutes as this match creeps towards the midway point of the second half. We remain where we entered halftime, tied at 2. Or pardon me, we are now tied at 2. The equalizer came after halftime, goodness. At 52nd minute, that's when Eric DeLabel leveled the match. And it was 2-1 Rutgers going into the break. Nick Collins gave Rutgers the lead. Dalton battles with Ayaz, and the Rutgers keeper wins it.
Well, Rutgers has struggled with Faranek coming in on the right side for FDU, and he's provided a lot of service, and well, may need to draw a second defender at some point to stymie him.
Shelb attacking, slide. What a great play by Damian Newmuskie. He was the last hope of keeping Yoshi Shelb from the goal.
Love those slide tackles, pop up, keep possession, find a teammate. Wonderful stuff.
Ayaz accelerates, but Montgomery had his foot in the passing lane. Good examples of defending on both sides of the pitch. First from Newmuskie, then from Montgomery. 50-year senior and a freshman showing off how to do it well. And here's your look. I mean, Shelb is, I think, at the very least level with Jeff Marquez, if not for the tackle. And FDU's Hugh is in looking for a second goal, if not for that for Montgomery. There's the Rutgers changes too. 3 guys who started the match: Nestor Cabrera, Eric Ruiz, and Rutgers' first goal scorer, Camron Boumsong, are all re-entered. Angelone, back for Lukovic to the left foot. It's knocked down. Pleas for a handball against New Muskie, and we'll have a stoppage and a review from the referee. Tyler McElhenney saw enough in that to take a look.
Well, I don't know why the referee would stop the play. You can always go back and review it once there's a dead ball situation. So if FDU goes forward on this possession and they score and he comes back and decides there was no handball, then it's a goal. See it again. I didn't get a clean look, Dom.
Yeah, and the full speed, I think it hit him in the back. Look at number 8. Unless I'm missing something, it hits him.
Well, right off that carom. There's a carom, and then that's not going to be a handled ball.
Jamie Highcock knows what you know, Glenn, that his team was sprinting the other way with possession, and play did not have to be stopped there.
No, it's here we go again. So the claim would be the left elbow. But see,
and it has been
it's already
no
hit it.
handball.
But it's hit another part of his body and then the arm, if that's indeed it even did, which negates it being a handball. That right there is unfortunate use of the video review, only because the play was stopped. If you still want to check it, understood, you want to be certain. And a lot of times you go with player reaction. So we know Lukovic made an appeal, but there were a couple of others that seemed uncertain, even on the FDU side. So sometimes you make that read and know that you want to check it. But you let the play run. Unless maybe there's a collegiate rule, I don't know. So I'll forgive me if I'm out of line, but that was unusual.
No, you're right. You can definitely, you're not going to wait the entire half, but you'll definitely wait till.
Well, you wait for a dead ball.
Yeah, or a clean break in the action, right? A goal kick, ball like this, if it was controlled by the keeper. Clean break in the action. So Rutgers continues its search for the go-ahead goal for the 3rd time tonight. Rutgers, that Boumsong goal way back in the 7th minute made it 1-0. After Hugh tied it, Collins made it 2-1. And for the 3rd time, can Rutgers grab a lead? Nicely done by Cabrera. Shelb is in and wide of the posts. Lukovic was in the middle of the 6-2 looking for the redirect.
Wow, well, Cabrera, first of all, splitting the defenders with that well-weighted ball through. Those are so difficult to defend. Well-timed run by Shelb, and, well, Lukovic, he needed maybe not to have trimmed his toenails before the match. That's how close that was. Maryland up 1-0 on Penn State, 42 minutes. That one's at Penn State. This doesn't count in the standings, the one we're doing here and watching, but there are 2 tonight. Michigan State has already beaten number 5 Indiana. That's an upset, 1-0. And Penn State trailing Maryland.
And Maryland the favorite in that. Boumsong. Can't spin his way, go ahead.
Yeah, when you're on the road, though, yeah, still the expectation is Maryland, but away from home in conference play. is always a challenge. At every level of this sport, Dom. You hear everybody talk about playing on the road.
That's right. Rutgers experienced it firsthand last time out. 2 goals that Northwestern scored came in the first 20 minutes. Poor start for the Scarlet Knights and could not grab the equalizer that they had a bunch of looks at. Lukovic won't be able to chase this one down. Collins trying to link up, oh, pardon me, Boumsong. No, I was right the first time. Lukovic and Franca on the scene.
That was Ruiz, I think, that served from deep. Just a little bit too much pace and spin on it. How you measure those deliveries. And Lukovic, his teammates understand he likes to ride the last line, man. He is right along the last central defender. So they're looking at every opportunity to put it in behind.
Cabrera cutting in, taken down. Great effort there from the Guatemalan international, senior national teamer to win this one.
Well done. Isolated, 1v1, make it happen. And look, if he's able to skip past the defender, Faranek dropping down from his wing position to defend on that occasion, more could have been created. So we'll see what occurs here. Sometimes fouls are not necessarily the worst thing.
Andrews, back post, couldn't connect with Stopek. Foul anyway. Stopek shoves Damian Namusky.
And Franca seems to have more control, the FDU goalkeeper, on the set pieces. The last corner taken by Rutgers, he handled well with the two-fisted punch. And here organizing the team in front of him. It's almost like Rutgers has had so many corners and set pieces that it's almost like practice. You know, he's seeing it so often that he's becoming more comfortable with it.
That's a great point, actually. At least a dozen set pieces that have been swung in against him. Well, we're past 70 minutes. See if somebody can find one more. FDU's not led in this match, but this would be one shocking result if they could secure one more goal. Rutgers so far in 2 home matches has 2 victories, both 1-0. Boumsong. Stopek. Deflection. And FDU ball.
You got to give the defender one little move. Stopek really just teed it up, and the defender was positioned to deny that service from the outset. So you got to give him one more little move in order to clear some space.
Uproars from both sides looking for a call there. They didn't get it. And Ayaz carries forward. 2 changes a moment ago for FDU, by the way. Christian Nitek and Nathaniel Anevsky are both on. Meanwhile, Hughes slides it right at Dalton. Fairly routine stop there for the Rutgers keeper, his second of the night.
And Faranek, who ended up on the left side of the field defending earlier, he's the one that created there again, too. He's been really the most valuable player in the second half for FDU, in particular on the attacking side, but we see how hard he's worked to track back and defend as well. Two-way players. It's where it's at, Dom.
That's right. What'd you say? All 11 have to defend.
They do.
No, what are we doing? Find him in! Find him in!
Now, when Inter Miami plays at New York City tomorrow night, and if Suarez and Messi are on the field at the same time, only 8 outfield players will be defending for Miami. So it depends on the circumstance as well.
That's right. Yeah, that'll be the day.
And that's not an exaggeration, by the way. But also, you know, the chances of one or both of them scoring are pretty high, too.
Now that's the trade-off, right? If you're going to spend your entire time on the positive side of midfield, you better do something.
Yep.
That'll be a good draw for that match.
Yeah, they're expecting over 30, 33 maybe.
Now that'll do.
City Field, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night. I think there are still tickets available, but not many.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Lipscomb, where he was the conference freshman of the year last year. 2 goals, 2 assists to put him second on the team in points. And they'll hope that number 11 can aid in the buildup. Sawyer Koza, who looked good in the first half in his first start of the season, also entering. And a very tired Yoshi Shelb and Jack Andrews check out. I think it shows you right there. Rutgers looking for the win here in the last 10 minutes.
Lipscomb, interesting. 2 seasons ago, they had 2 first-round draft picks out of their college.
Lukovic snuffed out. Back for Kitch, who delivered the service. Playing over his head. Cabrera scuffs it. First-round picks, 2 of them.
Yep.
Is that right?
One of them to New York City FC, Malachi Jones. The other, Tyree Spicer, who went to Toronto. He was number 1 overall, and Malachi was number 8 overall. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Lipscomb.
Yeah, not the program we think of as a soccer hotbed. He played great there last year, Karsten did. Another great German scorer that Rutgers plucked out of the portal. Can he deliver? Can somebody deliver? Or will we find a stalemate tonight? In a match where Rutgers led twice, it could not secure that lead for even 20 minutes afterwards. Rutgers led 1-0. Response 15 minutes after from FDU. Rutgers looking here. It's along the line and poked in. There it is. It's Andrew Kitch with the final touch. Rutgers leads for the 3rd time.
The most dangerous play in soccer. Behind the defense, in front of the keeper, and a well-timed slide by Kitch, and Rutgers will have a big opportunity here now to secure the win here on a Tuesday night in Piscataway.
First goal on his home New Jersey soil for Andrew Kitch. Born and raised in Medford, New Jersey, down near Philly. Product of the Players Development Academy that's churned out so many great Garden State soccer players. Transferring home after 2 years at North Carolina and scores for the first time at Yersack Field. And there's 7.5 minutes Rutgers has to see out to make sure Kitch's goal is the game winner.
And a wise move by Jim McElderry, getting Karsten in. He assisted on that. He's the one that served that thing with the proper pace and accuracy, and those are so difficult to defend. Kind of my favorite, Don. Behind the D, in front of the keeper. If you bend that just right, it's almost impossible to defend.
And everything came together on it too. Karsten's pass, you're threading the needle there.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful. Coaches work on that, well, depending on the program and the coach, but you get the mannequins out and you just curl it around that one on the outside and in behind and do it over and over and over again. It needs to become rote because it's such an important play in the game. Recognizing, sometimes it's earlier you play it, sometimes you have to carry it a little deeper and then play it, but recognizing it and then being able to deliver from a lot of different angles from the flank.
So Kitch gets the goal, second of the season and career. He only played all of 3 matches, Kitch did, in his 2 seasons down in Chapel Hill. And it's a double assist for Karsten and for Camron Boumsong. So Boumsong scores the first one of the night and assisting on possibly the last of the night. But still 6:10 to play. And this attack-minded FDU team not content to go home with a hard-fought 90 minutes in Piscataway. They're looking for something out of this.
Who's got 10? Who's got 10? Eric, 10.
And a throw in for Corey Hudgens. Freshman's played the full time tonight. There's Yayo Mutombo. He just checked in after the goal. He and Connor O'Reilly, who started the match, re-entered. And now Lukovic able to beat his man. He's in on goal and tackled off, nearly in. That was another youngster, Nitek. Necessary intervention, but almost cost an own goal.
Well, it started with the Meg of the captain, Namaski. And then nearly finished it off, did Lukovic. Tell he enjoys the 1v1. As soon as he got that and faced up, it was like, I'm setting this guy up.
You can see that instinct that he honed at the D3 level, scoring all sorts of goals in 4 years at Montclair State.
And in the gyms and winter training in Clifton, New Jersey, man.
That's right.
Tell you.
Yeah, 63 goals at Montclair State. Goodness knows how many Clifton. Can't imagine high school defenders enjoying their time defending Amir Lukovic all that much.
Well, he was a box-to-box midfielder, so he had a bit of a different role, was used as a playmaker too. We don't have his stats.
Not yet, at least.
We do know he was a 3-time All-American. High school.
30 of them in high school, by the way.
Okay, well done. How many assists?
Oh, brother. 16. Thankfully, I had just clicked away, not X'd out of the tab.
Good work.
Anytime. Other duties is assigned. Under 4 minutes. Can FDU equalize for a 3rd time? Mutombo, that's deflected, and Dalton is there. And he will not be in a hurry to launch this ball out of his own 18.
New IFAB rule, FIFA, 8-second rule for the goalkeeper. Not on the collegiate level yet. Not sure when they will, or if they will, ever. That's just another added element that the referee has to handle. Let's just keep it simpler for them. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Because they're also supposed to count down 5, 4 with the fingers up, 3, 2.
A lot to manage. Well, everybody's sprinting one way for to settle for the goal kick.
We saw it used in the Club World Cup, and it had an impact at a moment, but many were wondering what is happening here, because what the result is if you hold it more than 8 seconds, then the opponent gets a corner kick. So it's a fairly significant penalty for delay. Well, not penalty, but violation.
Had to get that second soccer ball off the field while FDU scrambled. FDU in desperate search. Damian Namaski. Christian Nitek. That's in. Oh, he found his man. He had Connor O'Reilly inside the 18. but the forward couldn't settle it.
Well, Rutgers has dropped so deep here. They have every outfield player within 35 yards of their own goal defending. When you're committed like that and you're obviously protecting the lead, you cannot allow service. That service needs to be denied or altered because you have the players there. So a little bit more organized for Rutgers in that particular sequence. That would be necessary.
Karsten tangled with LeBeat. FDU looking for another push. There's a dive, and down goes Alex Faranack, who assisted on FDU's second goal tonight. It's been great in the second half.
1 minute.
But the Knights running out of time at the Scarlet Knights. And they'll enlist the keeper, Mateus Franca, to take this free kick. 45 seconds. Not a bad effort. Rabasa Guillemot's got it. 30 seconds. Diving header by Boumsong. Last touch Rutgers. Mutombo. That's coming in. Dalton calls it, secures it. He can take more than 8 seconds. He may take all 15.
10, 9,
Hard-earned tonight for Rutgers. 3 different times
4,
they secured a lead. Third time's the charm. The Scarlet Knights are victorious in a back-and-forth Garden State affair, 3-2 against FDU.
Well, the thing to focus on if you're Rutgers is the fact that you gave up the lead twice, but were able to come back and then secure the victory with what was a really wonderful goal to finish off the Andrew Kitch finale. But here we're seeing all the goals